on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Somebody help me out, babe. Help me out. What is the episode number of this show? 1230 something, I think is what it is. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live today. Live today from Redmore Park. I forgot the episode number, but I took some notes here today, so I'm not going to forget the title. Yeah, I've had a lot of memories here at Redmore Park. This is the park I grew up at. I've also had a lot of recent memories here at Redmore Park. It's pretty narrow here, isn't it? Got to be careful when you're coming in and out of this lot, huh? Anyway, I hope you've all had a great day. I've had a fantastic day. Hey, babe, can you tell me what episode number this is? 1230 something, I think. Oh, wow. A lady just walked by with her dogs, and the little smaller dog was barking at me. 1231. Okay, great. Yeah, well, welcome to episode number 1231. Episode number 1231 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. And the topic today is supporting my GF Dawn and sharing opinions we've discussed about better protecting her online. One more time. The topic of the show today is supporting my GF Dawn and sharing options we've discussed about better protecting herself online. Yeah, it's been an interesting day so far, to say the least. But a good day. It's been a good day for Dawn and I. And some things transpired on these YouTube streets. And wow, I mean, wow, man, you want to talk about performance bravado? I tell you, man, performance bravado. Performance theater. I tell you, man. I tell you, if any of these people were working Broadway, man, they'd all get a freaking Oscar, man. Give them all the Oscar right now, man. I've just never seen so much nonsense, hogwash in my entire life from one group of people that just can't stop performing. But when their performance turns into defamation, then we have a different story, right? When the performance turns into defamation, now we've got a whole new ball game here, right? Because there's a difference between poking fun at someone and reviewing people online and public records and stuff like that. Babe, can you do me a favor? Can you, are you around still? Thank you, Tia. Yeah, you folks just make sure that you moderate the chat. Thank you, babe. Appreciate that. So when poking a little fun at someone goes a bit too far and turns into harassment, it turns into bullying, it turns into, defamation, right? That crosses a very, very huge line, a very huge line, even here in the U.S., even though we probably have the freest, we have the freest speech in the world. Like, you can get away with almost saying anything here. But there is a line, and that line is the defamatory line, the defamation line, right? And, I've been doing some parody and satire lately on the channel. And I think I'm going to start off today's show by doing a little parody and satire. How's that? And it goes a little bit like this. Miss T, please don't defame me. Miss T, please don't defame me. Miss T, please don't defame me. That's right. That's absolutely right. Today, we're going to be focusing a lot of this show on Miss T. Miss T is a supposed YouTube content creator that runs from a very high level of emotion all the time. And is very reactive and emotionally overreactive. And I think even people within her own group know how to push her buttons, right? Even people within her own group know how to push her own buttons. Wow, and today, we're Miss T's buttons pushed to the extreme, right? Now, this is all going to tie in with me coming out here and standing up for my lady Dawn and sharing things that we discussed earlier today that Dawn is completely okay with talking about. Regarding how we can better protect her online, right? Now, let me first start off by saying this. The defendant in my circuit civil case, and if you don't know the backstory, I'm not going to repeat it. Go back and watch some of the prior streams from this week and the past week, etc., right? The defendant in my circuit civil case that I filed a suit on him, he's going live tonight to try and spin another narrative. All I'm going to say is if you want to get my response, go to the community wall here on GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, and you'll see my response there. It's pretty cut and dry. I don't need to keep explaining the same thing over and over and over again. When you know that you've done everything procedurally proper, you don't need to keep explaining for yourself. You can make one statement on your community wall like I did, and that speaks for itself. And if people choose to spin it out of context as part of their narrative for their content, that's on them, right? That's on them to spin it any way that they want to spin it, right? So, you're gonna hear a lot of noise from the defendant regarding his stream. Just know it's all hogwash and performance theater and performance bravado and all that stuff. the truth of the matter is explained publicly on this community wall here at GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. Now, another thing I want to mention here. Tia says, help me moderate, please. Yeah, Tia and Don, can you do me a favor and moderate everything very strictly? Thank you. And Tia, thank you on GLM stream earlier this morning. Appreciate that. Okay. Now, regarding the stream that Miss T did earlier today, I screen recorded that entire stream. And later in the afternoon, I had the chance to go over it, and wow. I got to tell you, wow. Let me tell you, the story within that stream is not just what Miss T said. I mean, what Miss T said on that stream was wow. I mean, holy Moses. I mean, I'll tell you, first of all, she's super triggered, which that's on her, right? But she was super triggered over nonsense, hogwash nonsense. And most of what she was saying was absolutely false and extremely defamatory. And we're going to get into that in just a second here, okay? But within that live stream chat section of her live stream, I'm looking at these comments and I'm like, wow, this is one hell of a performance. This is one hell of a performance. I'm like, wow. And here's the thing, Miss T, because you're watching me. That rhymes, right? Miss T, please don't defame me. And Miss T, you're watching me, right? Just like Rockwell says, I always feel like somebody's watching me. And I have no privacy. Whoa, right? You're always watching me, Miss T, and that's okay because this is a public stream. And you're on a public platform. You have the right to watch me all you want. You're a big fan, Miss T. You're obviously a very big fan of myself. Well, let me mention my lady first, because ladies first, right? I love my lady. You're a big fan of my lady Dawn and I. You love us like family, Miss T. It's quite obvious, right? Because you send us your terms of endearment quite regularly, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you can still hear me and see me clearly. I want to make sure because this is the bad reception area over here. I really don't like this area, but it is what it is. All right. I hope I don't get disconnected here. So, yeah, Miss T was super triggered. And the chat in Miss T's live stream, wow, man, wow. The chat especially that involved the defendant, right, and some other people. Wow, I mean, let me just say this. All right, we are back live. We're back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I knew it. They cut me off in the same spot. There's something over there that cuts off cell reception. Anyway, thank you, babe. Appreciate it. So, Miss T, this is the one thing that I don't think you're realizing. I'm going to try to spell it out for you or paint it out for you, paint you the picture, right? Okay? Is that you took the bait, Miss T. You took the bait. You took the bait and you ran with it. And boy, did you run with it. And you know what the funny thing is, Miss T? Is that it wasn't even me that was baiting you. It wasn't even me that was baiting you, Miss T. Yes, I did go on GLM's panel early in the morning when I woke up and before I started to get ready. Now, I did say on that stream that if you talk about my lady, Dawn, in a defamatory or negative way, right? To that extent, maybe not those exact words, but if you talk about her in an unreasonable, negative way, right? I said, well, then I might just have to, further look into some things on your end based on what I've heard. Let me see. Hey. And maybe do a side-by-side comparison, right? Now, I decided to not do that because I'm a much better person than that, and I don't need to exploit content like that to get attention or to grow or to make money. And even if I'm not making as much money as you and other people in your group, right, and stuff like that, I'm okay with that, Miss T, because I'd rather grow the right way, right? I'd rather grow the right way and just take however long it takes to get it going the right way, right? Now, so, yeah, you were played, Miss T. You took the bait. And again, the bait was not put out by me. I think you're smart enough, Miss T, to figure out what the bait was. Because here's the thing, once you figure it out, Miss T, right? Once you figure it out, you have two options on how to respond to it, right? The two options are, one, A, either admit publicly that people within your own group are playing you, right? And you're gonna probably wonder why I think they're playing you. I'm not gonna mention that, Miss T. You can figure that one out on your own. Either people in your own group are playing you, or you're gonna have to admit that you're acting in concert with these people, working together, right? Coordination, right? So one way or another, Miss T, you've got people within your own group that are either playing you and setting you up, in my opinion, or you're all working together, acting in concert. Either way, not a good look, right? Damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? You put yourself in that position, Miss T. You have no one to blame but yourself. You've heard me say that many times, right? But today, you came at my girlfriend with some pretty serious accusations you stated factually on your stream. I've got your screen recorded, the screen recorded version with the entire chat, and I've got the Rumble version that I downloaded where you changed the name with a defamatory title. And then you try to put 3 question marks to try to mitigate liability. It's not gonna cut it, Miss T. Everyone knows what you mean by that title from your group, and everyone in my group knows what you mean by that, right? So here's a clean, plain language list of the defamatory claims Miss T made about Dawn, my girlfriend Dawn, on stream today based on what I've preserved and shared, okay? So, Miss T, you made a false self-harm accusation. Now, here's the thing, Miss T. Anyone can come in your chat. Anyone can come in your chat and say this person is doing this to me or that to me, right? And you can choose to ignore it, or you can choose to respond to it and say, well, I don't have any concrete proof of that, so I'm sorry, I can't address that. Or you can choose to address it and amplify it as a false statement of fact, right? Or false statement as fact, right? You chose to go the false statement as fact route, and then you tried to backtrack when you realized the transcript from my own stream had nothing in there regarding, a self-harm accusation. Miss T said and branded her stream as that Dawn engaged in self-harm trolling. I'm not going to say the S word and get demonetized here possibly, or get the stream tagged, right? You know the S trolling, right? Let's just call it self-harm trolling, right? To be YouTube compliant, Miss T, because I know you're itching to flag me if you already haven't, Miss T. And you can flag a clean stream all you want, Miss T, and it's just not going to happen, right? And Miss T, I probably said, the acronym, Miss T, probably 60 times already. I'll probably say it about another 120 more before the show ends. Is there a limit to the amount of times I can say someone's name or someone's initial? Miss T said and branded her stream as that Dawn, my girlfriend Dawn, engaged in self-harm trolling. An example, that Dawn mocked, encouraged, or targeted someone about self-harm. You and Miss T's own on-air review of the transcript found no such conduct. So someone in your chat comes in there, Miss T, and says that my girlfriend Dawn is per se self-harm trolling. That is the biggest nonsense, hogwash garbage ever, and you know it, right? But you amplified it, and you were triggered. And then, I guess you all were trying to play the role of the victim or something like that, right? And trying to paint my lady as someone that says harmful things about people online. You had the transcript. You got it within the first 30 minutes of when my stream from the studio yesterday was still publicly available on YouTube. Now it's been deleted off YouTube. It's been re-uploaded to Rumble, but it will never see the light of day again. Well, let me make it very clear. That stream is on Rumble, but it's private. And it'll never see the light of day again, not because anything bad happened, because you folks want to use it as content. And then you folks want to say, oh, Eli edited this to take out the self-harm part of Dawn, which never happened. You corroborated that on your stream, Miss T, and I have the actual transcript of the original video, and that was never in there. You know it, and everyone else involved knows it, right? But you amplified it on your stream earlier as a statement of fact many times, and you were triggered. That's defamatory, Miss T. Okay? And then you said that, number 2, DUI with a child in car. Miss T asserted that Dawn drove drunk with a child in the vehicle. That never happened, Miss T. That never happened. And you stated it as fact many, many times. And then you tried to backtrack and say that, well, that's the story you heard from some people, right? No, the story that you heard, Miss T, was that the situation happened at an apartment with Dawn's ex, her boyfriend at the time, and the son was in the apartment. This did not happen in a car. Okay? This did not happen in a car. And here's the thing, Miss T. If you want to pay the county of Sacramento some money to order the actual report that will show that, a child was not involved, you're going to eat your words, Miss T. But you tried to paint my lady Dawn as someone that puts children in danger. That's a very serious accusation, Miss T. Because I'll tell you this. Dawn was never, ever convicted of child endangerment. Had she been convicted of something like that, that's a lot of jail time. That's a serious crime, Miss T. And you like to continue to accuse people of serious crimes that they haven't committed, or that you have no proof of, or that you hear through the rumor mill of your audience, right? Now you tell me, babe, that is the accurate part of the story. Moderators, take care of that. So, Ms. T asserted that Dawn drove drunk with a child in the vehicle. That is a specific criminal allegation. Child endangerment, DUI. The document Ms. T displayed was a nursing board BRN discipline, not a criminal DUI case, and did not establish that claim. And then Ms. T, number 3, branding Dawn with a defamatory headline. Ms. T published a video on Rumble with a title essentially saying Dawn is a self-harm troll. Well, she used the actual S word, right? We all know what the word is, but I'm not going to say it out here on YouTube. She branded her stream. Her stream was titled something else on YouTube before she removed it, right? That's a standalone defamatory assertion, not commentary, Miss T. What are you going to say, Miss T? Sue me? Are you gonna go live tomorrow and rant and rage and get even more triggered and tell Dawn to sue you? Number 4, using a professional discipline document to imply crimes and moral depravity. Ms. T put a BRN license surrender document on screen and used it to suggest Dawn committed dangerous crimes, acts involving children, and cruel behavior about self-harm. Those extra claims go beyond what a licensing document shows. That's probably not what she was using it for, but she was trying to throw that on there because that's the only document she could get for free regarding, my lady's past, history, right? Number 5, personal attacks presented as facts. Ms. T repeatedly described Dawn in ways that implied criminality, danger to children, and extreme moral wrongdoing rather than stating opinions. You did it on purpose, Miss T, because you're triggered at me for some reason. Probably because I've sued your buddy, the defendant, who, in my opinion, really isn't your buddy. You don't even realize what's going on. You see, Miss T, you think... Yeah, you'll see. You'll see. You see, I know these people longer than you know them. You have no idea. Let me tell you this, Miss T, you're the first one they would throw under the bus. That's no joke, right? And if you're not starting to see that, then I don't know what to tell you, Miss T. So, what these people do is they amplify things through sock accounts, and they make all these things up, right? So that way they create more outrage, and then they fuel the fire for the supposed live stream, right? So anyway, in short, Ms. T didn't just criticize. The stated and republished specific harmful factual claims about my lady Dawn that, if untrue, are defamation per se, accusing serious crimes and conduct incompatible with a profession. So I'm going to do this second lap, then I'm going to walk around the parking lot for a little bit. Then I'm going to go have dinner with my lady, and I'm actually going to have dinner with her tonight, unlike some other people have been led to believe, because Don mentioned on our stream yesterday that, no, I think it was on, I think it was in our podcast, that we don't always have dinner together. That's true. Many couples don't always have dinner together. Some couples work opposite shifts, right? Right? Like, these people like to take common, ordinary, everyday things that pretty much every couple faces, and they like to turn it into something that I am ridiculously wrong about or different about, right? It's become extremely surreal. It's become extremely surreal and very comical at the same time, right? And I'm going to share with you folks here in a little bit what Don and I have talked about, some of the courses of action that we are considering, right? Because, you know, a lot of people reached out to us today, and they were very concerned. They were very concerned for Don. And Don, babe, let everyone know that you are okay, and that you and I are handling this, and we've got it, and we will make people aware of things as things come up, as things happen, as much as possible. There may be some things that we can't talk about or talk about initially. My lady, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don says, A-okay. Yeah, wonderful. Time to take the shades off. Hey, we actually had some sunshine today, right? We actually had some sunshine today. So, here's the thing. As far, again, as that stream goes that Don and I did yesterday, we did absolutely nothing wrong. The reason why I took it down wasn't even initially for platform enforcement, right? To protect myself or ourselves from platform enforcement. It was because somebody commented in the comment section of one of their community postings that they were going to go live and debunk it. And they had made another posting saying initially that my girlfriend Dawn is self-harm trolling them, which we know is not true. So I sat there and put two and two together, knowing how these people operate over the years, right? And I said, I'm putting this thing to private because I'm not going to let this narrative spin out. So I'm going to make it very clear that nothing was wrong about that stream, but I was not going to allow this group of people to weaponize that content to try to create something out of nothing, right? So what did they do? Miss T got the transcript yesterday. She got the transcript when the video was still up on YouTube. So she has a transcript of the full thing, and nothing at all in that transcript, Miss T, stated self-harm. You said it yourself after you heard what was, or you saw what was said in the chat, and then you amplified that, and you said that it definitely happened, right? Right? And then I'm seeing postings from soccer accounts and other people saying that other people saw it and heard it. Saw and heard what? It never happened. It never happened. If that happened, that stream was publicly available for 30 minutes after it ended. People could have scrubbed back and screen recorded that part. They didn't do it because it didn't exist. Okay? So because the initial play was to do a review of the stream and try to label it as self-harm trolling, right? I'm like, nah, that's not happening on my watch. It's not. I put it to private. Then later on, I realized these people were flagging my stream. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to delete it. Then I had to get it prepped for Rumble because Rumble only allows 15 gigabyte streams and uploads. Yeah, here's the thing, Mr. Soccer Count, whoever you are. Miss T can do whatever she wants. The more she does, the more we're going to hold her accountable. So, yeah, that's all good. The more she does, the more that we'll be there to screen record the evidence and, use the evidence where it really matters, the court of law, right? You want to come back and troll me again? That's great. That's on you. You want to waste your time with hogwash nonsense garbage, right? So, sorry, give me a second here. There's something I wanted to say, and I'm forgetting it. So yeah, the stream, I had to re-encode it. That means it's still the original, but I had to shrink it down in size because I have very high quality on YouTube, 30 megabits, and I had to shrink it down to 9 megabits. That way the file could shrink from 47 gigabytes to 15 gigabytes, and I could upload it to Rumble. I uploaded it to Rumble, and I was going to release it on Rumble. But then, on second thought, I was like, no, why release it? It's not bad. I'm not afraid to release it, but why give these people something they're going to spin out of context? And then they're going to say, oh, you cut out that self-harm trolling part, right? That's what you guys would do, right? So that's why I'm not releasing it, because the bottom line is it takes away your childish game, right? 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 So all you can do now is say, oh, well, this is what happened, and other people are saying it happened. But interestingly enough, even the lady that ran the stream, Miss T, said, oh, I hit Control F and I can't find it here in my transcript. That's because it doesn't exist. It never happened. And now you're embarrassed, right? What's the matter, dog? You embarrassed? This guy's a gangster. His real name is Clarence, right? Put a 1 in the chat. You can still hear me. 1 in the chat, because this is the bad reception area. 1 in the chat, please. Put a 1 in the chat. Are we good? Thank you. No cutoff this time, right? So we're still good, babe? Put one more 1 just to make sure, because it may have cut off between there and here. Babe, put 1 more. Thank you. TS says 1. Thank you so much. All right. So, yeah, she hit Control F. Yeah, Control F for find, right? You did a search. Nothing there. I think you already knew. Miss T, if you didn't already know that didn't happen, then you got played, right? And if you already knew, then you're acting in concert. So one way or another, Miss T, it has to be one or the other, right? You either got played and led to believe something wasn't true to get you to react, or B, you knew about it, so did everyone else in your group, and then you acted in concert, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you folks agree with that assessment there, because it sounds pretty damn good to me. That's my opinion, right? Right? My lady respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Dawn says 1. All right, we got some people coming. I'm going to have to wait. Maybe I can go this way. We're all good. I don't like going on the street, but we've got construction workers here, and we had some other people walking, so it is what it is, right? Miss T, please don't defame me. Miss T, please don't defame me. Right? I'm asking you very kindly to stop defaming me and defaming my girlfriend, Dawn. Right? Because that's what you're doing as your content, right? Hey, GLM, how are you doing? If you missed this show, you're going to have to go back and check out the replay, right? It's all good in the hood, right? All good in the hood. Uh-huh. Whoo! Wow. So, what was I going to say? So, Don and I were talking earlier today. And we're looking at our options here. We're looking at our options, and what are the options on how we can handle this? Sure, Don can file a full-blown circuit civil case regarding this for defamation, right? That would have to be filed in the state of Florida. That has jurisdiction, right? Number 2, Don could file a civil harassment order here in San Mateo County, right? Those are 2 options. I mentioned that because, folks, I want you all to know that here at the Real GNA, short for Genuine Networking Association, we don't tolerate bullying, we don't tolerate harassment, we don't tolerate defamation, we don't tolerate online abuse. We don't. And a lot of people are dealing with it nowadays. And especially if you're here in the U.S., which has the most lenient laws on free speech, it's very hard to hold people accountable for hurting you, for harming you, right? And through my personal experience of dealing with this for many years out here and learning how to handle this legally, even as a pro se self-represented. All right, I hit reconnect. Are we back live? Are we back live? Let me reset. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Can you put one more one in, Tia, Don, Lewis, anyone else that's here? I'm sorry. I think there are a lot of people here. There are a lot of people out here on the soccer field, and when there are a lot of people, there's typically a lot of the cell tower bandwidth being used. Those cell towers have a ton of bandwidth, but when you've got literally hundreds of people in one spot, in one area, sometimes you're going to have some connection issues. So, thank you, Tia, and thank you, Dawn. My lovely lady, Dawn. And Tia, thank you again for being very understanding today. I appreciate that. I want you to know that I have everyone's best interest in my head and heart. I always have. And, even on the things that I was saying on that stream yesterday, look, I meant everything I said. I think people are misunderstanding me because they don't understand the nature of a lot of these people that I've dealt with much longer than the rest of you have, besides Sandra. Sandra and maybe even ODN have been around. Hey, Sandra, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. It's a great pleasure to see you here. How's it going? Yeah, tonight we're standing up for Dawn, Sandra, because it needs to be done, and we're doing it in a respectful, professional, and mature name. In a mature way. I mean, that's her name. You know what I meant. In a respectful, professional, and mature way, right? GLM says, Sandra girl, hey. So, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's gotten to the point right now where that group, led by the defendant, and also a big part of that group is this Miss T lady, right? Now all of a sudden, I understand your points. You're like, thank you, Sandra. Well, Sandra, you've been around for a long time, right? And you understand. You understand how these people are and what they've been doing, right? And here's the thing, Sandra. I honestly think Miss T is being played. I honestly think that Miss T took the bait, and the bait didn't come from me. And this is what a lot of people don't understand when I say certain things. Look, when I say certain things, it's not about me trying to automatically exonerate someone of their behavior, but sometimes some people do certain things for certain reasons, right? And if we can all learn to understand that a lot of things out here on YouTube done by certain people are for performance theater, it may help us by not reacting as much or not overreacting, which is what they really want, right? Now, if they're defaming us, listen, if people are insulting us, that's one thing that is protected speech. I've learned that the hard way over the years. Insults are protected speech. So the only thing that really matters is if people are defaming you and intentionally trying to cause you reputational harm. That's something you've got to just jump on, okay? That's something you've got to just jump on, right? Oh yeah, I've been around for a while. I've seen these people grow and flip-flop. Yeah, but you have to also tell the people out here, Sandra, that don't know, that see what you and I both see, that certain people in that group even play people within their own group, right? And then when they play people within their own group, and then someone takes the bait, and they just clearly can't see what just happened in front of their own eyes, it's like, wow. And you see, I used to fall for that. I remember the days people would lead me to believe something is true, and I would get really triggered over it on stream. You remember those days, Sandra? You see, the only reason why I know all this stuff is because I have made the same mistakes years ago, right? So I can clearly identify the behavior now, right? And so you're dealing with a woman in Florida that's been doing this probably for about 2.5 years, maybe 3 or so, right? but everyone else in the community's been doing it for 8 to 10 plus years. We are much more experienced than she is. And a lot of times she thinks she's very smart and can outsmart everyone. But she can't even realize when her own group is playing her. And of course, Miss T, people are going to pretend to be nice. You know what they call that? I think that's what they say is called buddy trolling, right? It's like you're almost being buddy trolled, Miss T, and you don't even realize it. Now, are going to try to spin this out of context and say, oh, Eli's out of his mind. He's really lost his marbles, whatever, right? That's what they're going to do. We all know that. That's what they do. What I'm telling you here is the truth that they don't want everyone else to know, which is why they're going to try to spin my story as me being crazy, because if they don't, and you believe that what I'm saying is true, which is I'm being honest with you, then what happens to their jig is up. It's up. It's over, right? So these types of creators, when you start to call them out on their nonsense, they have one or two choices. They can either, agree with you, which is the truth, and it puts them out of business, or keep amping things up by saying, oh, there's something wrong with that guy, and, he's all over the place, and he never gets it right, and all this and that, right? Hogwash, nonsense, garbage, right? Hogwash, nonsense, garbage, right? Here's the thing, Miss T. Oh, did I hit a clip? It says upload it to my I think you can make clips in the middle. I think I hit the clip button. I can always delete that later. I didn't even mean to create a clip. I just hit the button on the screen by mistake. You can create clips while you're live. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, you can go live tomorrow, Miss T, and what else can I say? Give us more evidence. Maybe you don't care about giving us evidence because you think that Dawn would never take action on you. Look, Dawn has become much stronger, and she can take it. But the bottom line is, she shouldn't have to deal with it, right? She shouldn't have to be commercially exploited like myself. She shouldn't have to be defamed and harassed by you, right? And here's the thing, to be honest with you, Miss T, and I'm not going to get into a lot of detail here, but I've heard a lot. And listen, I'm not gonna accuse you or anyone in your family of anything. Well, to the troll in there that is coming in here and saying, I don't know what to believe or not. It might be true, because I know when you call people out, they get really triggered, especially when they would rather watch my truthful stream over theirs, right? Right? The truth of the matter is, hey, if Mr. J, the defendant, wants to start coming at my girlfriend Dawn, then guess what? That's just more to file on the case, right? So, I mean, hey, babe, you're still there, right? If Mr. J starts attacking you and defaming you in the same ways that Miss T's doing, I've got a pre-existing case, and I can basically file on that as, harassing my girlfriend, right? Yep. Here's the thing, Mr. J, I'll address you for a few minutes here. Here's the thing. You've been trying so hard to continue spinning the narrative. You've tried everything to try to get me to crack, to try to get me to overreact. And it's not working, sir. It's never going to work again, right? It's never going to work again, right? The narrative is going bye-bye because it just doesn't bother me and it doesn't bother... Whoa. I almost tripped over that. I didn't see that. I got to pay more attention. But I've got good footing, right? So, the narrative you've been trying to spin on all your past tactics of antagonizing people, right? Right? And then also weaponizing court filings, in my opinion, as your content. I have the right to say that. You weaponize court filings as your content. And you don't think that contrast is going to be seen by the judge in our case? Mr. J, you know the judge in our case, the Honorable Judge Stacy, right? Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, right? I swear to God, Judge Stacy's going to be famous before this. Before he's going to file that. Hey, Your Honor, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, the plaintiff, Mr. Elias D. for douchebag Melas, right? Yeah, he's actually saying your name, and he's saying that you're not going to like the games I'm playing. She might give him a good spanking. Well, one can only hope. I mean, look, this is the... All right, I just hit reconnect. Are we live? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. And put a number 2 if you can hear me now. I want to make sure that it's all good and normal. Put a number 2, please. I want to make sure. Thank you. Appreciate that, right? Your Honor. Honorable Judge Stacy. I just can't trigger Mr. Melas anymore on the YouTubes. I've tried everything, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, and it's not working. It's just not working anymore, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy. Oh boy, she is going to be... Oh yeah, this is what I was going to say. Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, Mr. Elias D. Melas is saying that you're going to become YouTube famous by the time this case is over, and I think that you should place sanctions on him. I really think that you should throw him in the slammer. You know the slammer, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, who has the same name, the same... I can't even do... Who has the same first name as... You know what? You know. You know who has the same first name as Judge Stacy, right? Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, Mr. Elias D. Melas is using this court case for comedy and satire and parody. And I think, honestly, you should sanction him for that. And, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, I hope you don't think I'm a hypocrite when I'm saying you should sanction him for that when my entire defense in this case rests on you granting my anti-slap because I feel that Mr. Elias D. Melas, the plaintiff, is trying to silence my freedom of speech, my protected First Amendment rights, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy. Right? Let me guess. He's rebroadcasting me right now because he couldn't keep the audience any other way, huh? Somebody go over there right now and just for a brief second tell me if he's rebroadcasting me and then come back. And then I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm just trying to prove a point. He couldn't hold the audience on his own, just walking and talking like me, so he has to rebroadcast to take back the audience. Come on, somebody tell me. Yep. Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, I had to start simulcasting, rebroadcasting the plaintiff because, let me be truthful with you, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, that I can't hold an audience unless I'm rebroadcasting him. And Mr. Elias D. Melas, the plaintiff, had over 40 people in his chat while I was struggling trying to convince my audience of the next false narrative about him. So go easy on me, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy. I have no other choice. I can't get traction any other way, Your Honor. Right? You know what's funny? My point proven. This guy has nothing without me, right? This guy has nothing without me, right? His people want to watch me more unless he's rebroadcasting me, right? It's all good, man. Whatever, right? Point proven, right? And here's the thing. Regardless of what happens in court, I'm confident in my court case. I always have been. But regardless of what happens in court, when it comes to the YouTube optics, that, hey, I'm not competing with you on them, but when it comes to the YouTube optics, you know where that's at, sir. You know where that's at, right? Obviously, he couldn't spin the narrative about me anymore because there's no narrative to spin, right? Stuffed cabbage is the darling of the laundromat. GLM, are you a puppet now? Is that what you're saying, Sandra? I gotta tell you, I'll tell you this. You folks, go and look at the docket. Go and look at the docket. This guy filed 3 filings today, right? Go and look at the docket tomorrow. And you'll just see how ridiculous it is. And then he tries to do a live stream about it to try to trigger me and upset me over something that is just completely stupid. It just is, right? And the biggest tell of the whole thing is that, and look, I'm not here counting numbers to try to compete, but when my numbers are bigger than his and he has to start rebroadcasting me to level that off, that's a very telling thing. Don't you think, Sandra? Don't you think, Don, Tia, Lewis, GLM, ODN, where are you at? Where are you at, ODN? Auden? Yep, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don says yes. Oh, yeah, says Sandra. That's exactly what he is talking about now is numbers. Right. Well, while stealing my content, right? He's basically talking about numbers while stealing my content, right? And I don't care about past numbers. I don't even care about the current numbers. The point I'm trying to make is that this guy can't even stand having fewer numbers than me in real time, right? So he has to he has to hijack my stream by restreaming it and taking back people that want to see me and not see him. Even if they don't like me, they want to see me instead of him. Hey, there are a lot of people that religiously follow people they don't like, but they go to their own channels. They don't do, they don't go to a channel that does what this guy does, and most people don't even do what this guy does, right? It's just absolutely pathetic, man. We got some good shows to watch tonight, huh, babe? A lot of new shows are coming back, huh? Hey, babe, you know what, babe? You know what, babe? I think I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to surprise you after this show, okay? You probably figure it out. Don't say it here. And don't even text me afterwards. I'm going to surprise you with a few things here. I'm really proud of you, babe. Dawn, I'm really proud of you regardless of whatever these people say about you or me online, right? And it'll all be handled soon, right? And in the meantime, we'll just keep recording their shit shows and one step at a time. I've got my circuit civil case with the defendant, with the Honorable Judge Stacy, that has the same first name as, I don't have to tell you. You folks already know that. You can go back to their stream and figure that one out, right? 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 Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, the plaintiff is trying to incite me to make more improper filings in the case. I'm gonna file that on him, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy. You know what, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy? I'm going to help you out. You know I'm going to help you out, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy? I'm going to count how many times the plaintiff, Mr. Elias D. for boop boop. I had to censor myself, Your Honor. It's a court of law. Parody, court of law. That is satire, court of law. Right? Okay. I'm going to count how many times Mr. Elias D. Melas says your name, and I'm going to do a Judge Stacy counter on my next restream. And then I'm going to file it with the clerk. And I'm going to also file an emergency motion. I'm going to file an emergency motion, just like Miss T did a couple times. That really got her nowhere because, well, they knew it was hogwash BS anyway, right? Right, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy? Right? Right? Okay. I always use that name counter for Mr. Elias D. Melas. He likes to say people's names like 6 million times per stream to emphasize his points, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy. So I figured I would just do you a favor. I'll do you a favor. I'll condense it into one line. The number of times he says your name. I'm not going to write it out like 6 million times. I'd have to submit a document longer than his complaint, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy. his long-ass complaint. Because I've been a bad boy, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy. I've been a bad boy. A bad boy. Oh, man. I've been laughing at this shit all day, I'll tell you. This has got to be the dumbest stuff I've ever seen, man. These people try to paint me as some whacked out nut job, right? And I'm sitting here laughing at them because all that matters is how I feel about myself and what I think about me, right? I'm sitting here laughing because they have no idea. They have no idea. Your Honor, Your Honor. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. Okay, Your Honor. Hold on a second, okay? Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, I'm going to have to end my stream soon and delete the evidence. I'm going to have to delete the stream so the plaintiff doesn't flag me down for copyright. Oh, I almost trip over that every time. Damn. Whew, caught myself again. And then you know what, Your Honor? I don't even have to do what Miss T does. Miss T re-uploads stuff to Rumble. I just simulcast to Rumble at the same time. So when I delete my YouTube stream to prevent platform enforcement by Mr. Elias D. Melas, Copyright General of the world, right? Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy. Then it's already on Rumble, and people can just go over there, right? And it's much harder to enforce copyright on Rumble, Your Honor. You know, they're more like a free speech platform. You know that, right? Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This guy thinks I can't live my life. I can't run my YouTube channel. He thinks that I can't do parody or satire. He thinks I can't talk about my case in a respectful and professional way, or even do comedy, parody, satire like he's always done, right? Now, when it's done without defamation or anything like that, then that's no problem. I'm not defaming him. I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm making fun of him. That's what I'm doing. He doesn't like it. We still have 29 in the box. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. We still got 29 in the box. Making it rain, right? Making it rain. So before I go, prediction tomorrow. How triggered do you think Miss T is on our community wall right now? Oh, let me check. You know what? Let's do this in real time. Let's do it in real time. I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. Put a 1 in the chat, please. Thanks, babe. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally done. Thank you, Tia. So, yeah, Miss T has not posted, so she's intently supporting Mr. J, the defendant. Right? How many of you think tomorrow there's going to be a major rage stream by Miss T early in the morning? And she's going to continue to accuse me of the same thing that the defendant accused me on his stream tonight. Based on the title, I haven't heard his stream. I don't know if I even will. I mean, I've gotten really bored of him because he's not even good at attacking me anymore. I mean, that's how bad it's gotten. Oh, I sound like MJ. MJ. Some of you people out here, man, your laughs are just, God. Maybe this is not the right word, but I'll just use it. Your laughs are unconstitutional. I guess you can say the same thing about mine. There's only one other guy that says I don't care what people think about me more than me, and that's MJ. The difference is I actually mean it and he doesn't. And then I'm not going to mock ODN because ODN's like a brother. ODN, you did a great stream earlier today, man. In case you watch this on the replay, maybe he'll message me later. He's probably sleeping. Oh, broski, I was sleeping. Sorry I missed your stream, broski. It's all right, broski. Not a big deal. Not a big deal, man. You did a good stream, and honestly, I agree with everything you said. And I understand why you feel the way you feel. I've always understood why people have felt the way they feel about this whole situation with this group. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, babe, start getting your quote in. Do you have a quote? I hope you do. Hope you do. I look forward to it. We got 28 in the box, making it rain. Oh, nope. So no quote tonight. Are you taking the night off, babe? Oh, thanks, babe. That's all good. You deserve a night off. You deserve any time off that you want, that you need, right? So, how many of you think that Miss T is going to go live tomorrow on Saturday morning and probably go full force on me and probably continue to go a little bit at dawn because she's thinking that it triggers me and it triggers her? No, it doesn't trigger either one of us, but it's still unlawful behavior to accuse people of something that never happened and to publicly amplify it, right? There's a big difference between somebody saying something in a comment section and in a posting, and then another person takes all that and makes a full-blown hour and a half plus long defamation for dollar streams about it, right? My lady says, yep, we all deserve a break, Don. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everyone. I'm going to get going here. Got a lot of love for all of you, babe. I'm going to make a couple stops. One place you know where I'm going. The other place I'm going to surprise you. We are at 79 minutes. T definitely will do a stream. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? And here's the thing. I mean, she'll do it whether she's triggered or not. I think she would pretend to be triggered just to make money on YouTube. Right? But here's the thing. Even if you're just pretending to defame someone, there's no such thing. You defame someone, you defame someone. That's that, right? What I'd like to hear from you, Miss T, is do you honestly feel everything you said about Dawn on your stream earlier today? Do you feel that all of that is true? Or do you retract that? Do you apologize? I mean, seriously, do you apologize? Do you take any of it back? Do you retract any of it? Right? Or do you hate me so much that you're not going to retract anything just because of that. And you would sit there and risk a defamation lawsuit that you think is not going to happen. Because I'll tell you this right now, I would help Dawn with the case, right? And she would represent herself, and I would support her. And don't sit there and try to put out some fancy rule saying I can't help her. Of course I can. I can help her with the paperwork or anything. There's no law against that. But you would try to feed ChatGPT something and make something sound improper and illegal that's fully above board, right? Just to keep the audience around and keep getting the donations, right? Anyway, 30 in the box, 81 minutes, an hour, and 21 minutes. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.